Thank you very much. I am looking forward to sharing a little bit of information and talking about AI. And hopefully, at the end of the session, you'll have learned something. Good afternoon. Did you know that AI can be used to generate entirely new chemical compounds and drugs that have never existed before? By training AI models on existing chemical structures and properties, scientists can use them to generate novel compounds with specific desired properties, potentially leading breakthroughs in pharmaceutical, material science, and other fields. This process, known as generative chemistry, has already led to the discovery of new antibiotics and materials with unique properties. This is just one example of how AI can be used in ways that are not immediately obvious or widely known, but have the potential to revolutionize fields like medicine, material science, and more. My name is Brady, and I'm here to discuss applying AI in ideation and prototyping strategies and best practices. That is a fancy way to say that I'm going to share how I use AI in my life and career and why I use the tools I use. I hope that you find the talk interesting and that you learn something new. We're here for a little under an hour. My presentation likely won't take that long, so I'm hoping that we can interact with a few questions at the end. My expertise is in growth strategy. I'm the founder of Inciting Incident. We are a creative team that uses game intelligence to help our clients achieve better engagement, retention, and growth. At Inciting Incident, our mission is clear and compelling: to deliver a superior and enjoyable customer experience through the utilization of game intelligence and mechanics. We firmly believe that by incorporating game-like elements into user interactions, we can not only captivate and engage our customers, but also create a dynamic environment that keeps them coming back for more. With our innovative approach, we are committed to transforming the way businesses connect with their audience, driving user behavior, and ultimately establishing lasting competitive advantage. I firmly believe that game intelligence is the most potent tool to drive user behavior, transforming casual users into loyal, passionate customers, and ultimately enthusiastic superfans. With over 30 years of experience in sales, marketing, and business development for technology companies such as Intech, Comcast, and Dine, I have a proven track record of success in selling internet services and software solutions. My expertise spans across identifying growth opportunities, crafting compelling value propositions, and driving revenue. My passion for game design and development was further fueled by 4 years with Inkwell Interactive, our game design and development studio here at Southern New Hampshire University. It ultimately inspired me to found my company and get it started a year ago. I am the husband of Loretta, a professor of psychology at St. Anselm College, and the father of 5, Sergey, Zora, Langston, Willa, and Audra. And I am the dog papa of a puppy named Zelda. I'm a proud penman, class of 1991, and I always enjoy returning to campus, and I'm happy to be here to speak about a subject I find very passionate about. I want to take a second to thank President Lisa Marsh-Rison, our 6th president of the institution. It's exciting to see what her leadership will bring to SNHU. I also wanted to thank Erwin Zhang, who had called me and invited me to speak at the AI Summit this year, and Professor Sophia Kustas, who thought of me, and she suggested that Aaron give me a call, and I appreciate both of them. Thank you very much. Sometimes people ask me what an inciting incident is because if they're not in their area of writing, so I put this together for you. And I like to think of, when I see this slide, I kind of think of the Law and Order narration, where it says in the criminal justice system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories. Dun dun. So I put this on my website so people will have an understanding of the reason why I kind of use Inciting Incident as the name of my company. Let's talk about entrepreneurship and iterations for a minute. This is an important premise to anything that we discuss today because, as Steve Jobs shared to you, you never can connect two dots looking forward, only looking back. So you just have to trust the dots will somehow connect. Here's a brief history of my dots so far. I started a game company hoping to design and development, to create a design and development studio here in Manchester, New Hampshire. My expertise is in SaaS, software as a service, growth strategy, and business development. So like many founders, I added consulting to my menu to keep the lights on. I'm also big on storytelling, the art of war, strategy, game theory, and game psychology. So I decided to combine my passion for storytelling and film with my love of video games and create a firm that will use all of these elements to build something that will improve the lives and experiences of its users. It took me over a year chasing down my current concept, and to be honest, it was not easy. Today, I would probably use the tools I'm sharing today to make the process a little bit easier. We'll talk a little bit about ideation and prototyping. Artificial intelligence in ideation and prototyping involves the use of advanced technologies such as machine learning, neural networks, and natural language processing to enhance and accelerate the creative and development phase of product creation. AI tools can analyze vast amounts of data, generate innovative ideas, and create prototypes with a level of precision and efficiency that is challenging to achieve manually. In today's rapidly evolving technology landscape, incorporating AI into ideation and prototyping process is crucial for staying competitive. Here's why. Speed and efficiency. AI can process and analyze data at a speed far beyond human capability. Enhance creativity. AI can provide unique insights and generate ideas that might not be immediately apparent to humans. By analyzing patterns and drawing on vast data sets, AI can suggest innovative solutions and creative approaches, acting as a valuable co-creator in the ideation process. Data-driven decision-making. AI can analyze market trends, consumer preferences, and competitive landscapes to inform ideation and prototype that's data-driven. Precision and accuracy. In prototyping, AI can create highly detailed and accurate models, minimizing errors and ensuring that the final product meets the desired specifications. Scalability. AI actually gives you the ability to allow organizations to handle larger volumes of work without a proportional increase in resources. This scalability is particularly beneficial for startups and smaller companies looking to innovate. By embracing AI in ideation and prototyping, businesses can unlock new levels of innovation, efficiency, and precision, ultimately leading to better products and faster go-to-market strategies. In today's world, incorporating AI can lead to faster innovation cycles, more precise prototypes, and the ability to predict and adapt market trends efficiently. Strategies. I use a number of strategies applying AI in ideation. Brainstorming tools are a super important aspect of my business, and I definitely utilize resources of brainstorming to get it going. In addition to that, I use AI in order to look at market research. One of the aspects of that is using tools like GigaBrain to look at how consumers are responding to issues and challenges on Reddit, which is a way to make that work for me. We'll talk about AI and prototyping. AI-powered software tools can dramatically speed up creation of digital prototypes. These tools can generate multiple design iterations at a fraction of the time it would take a human team. For example, generative design algorithms can explore all possible configurations of product based on specific parameters such as material constraints, performance requirements, and manufacturing methods. This allows teams to quickly identify and most optimally design and iterate on them rapidly. Simulation testing using AI. AI can simulate real-world conditions to test prototypes, providing valuable insights without the need for physical prototypes. For instance, AI can run thousands of virtual crash tests on car prototypes to evaluate the safety or simulate various weather conditions on a new outdoor product design. These simulations can identify potential issues early in the development process, saving time and resources by reducing the need for physical testing. Airbus has used AI to aid in the design and testing of its aircraft by employing AI-driven generative design. Airbus can create thousands of design alternatives and simulations in a short period. This has resulted in the development of more efficient, innovative aircraft components, reducing weight and improving fuel efficiency. Nike also leverages AI in its design and prototype of new footwear. Using machine learning algorithms, Nike can analyze athlete performance data to create shoes tailored to specific needs. AI tools enable rapid prototyping and testing, allowing for faster iterations and improved product performance. Combining AI with traditional ideation and prototyping methods allows you to leverage the strength of both approaches. While AI excels at data analysis and generates numerous ideas rapidly, human intuition and creativity remains irreplaceable. Here's how to achieve this balance. Use AI to generate initial ideas, then refine and expand these ideas in human-led brainstorming sessions. Let AI handle the heavy lifting of data collection and analysis while your team focuses on interpreting the results and deriving actionable insights. Incorporate AI tools into your design thinking process to explore a wider range of solutions and validate concepts quickly. You want to regularly audit your AI models to identify and address any biases, ensure diverse data sets, and inclusive design practices to minimize bias. You want to implement robust data privacy measures to protect users' information. Use anonymized techniques to comply with relevant regulations such as GDPR or the CCPA. And you want to be transparent about how AI is used in your process. Educate your stakeholders about the role of AI and its limitations to build trust, promote responsible usage. The field of AI is rapidly evolving, and staying updated with the latest advancements is essential. Here's how to ensure continuous learning and adaptation. Regular training, cross-disciplinary collaboration, and experimentation and iteration. Imagine a design team working on a new consumer electronics product. They use AI to analyze market trends and generate initial design concepts. In a hybrid brainstorming session, they review the AI-generated ideas and build upon them with their own creative input. To ensure ethical use of AI, they regularly audit their model for bias and maintain strict data privacy standards. The team stays updated with the latest AI advancements by attending industry conferences and collaborating with AI researchers. The continuous learning approach allows them to refine their design and stay ahead of the competition. AI technologies, while powerful, are not without their limitations. These can include issues with data quality, algorithm biases, and the need for extensive computational resources. You ensure high quality, diverse data sets. You must regularly update the data to reflect current trends and minimize biases. You need to continuously audit AI algorithms to detect and correct biases, implementation fairness, and transparency practices in your AI development process. And you must invest in scalable and efficient computing infrastructure, utilizing cloud-based solutions to manage the computational demands of AI applications. There is a little bit of resistance in the world to AI, and in order to create a confidence around the AI, you need to educate and train and provide comprehensive educational training programs to help employees understand AI and its benefits. You want to highlight how AI can augment human capabilities rather than replace them. You want to make certain that key stakeholders are available early in the AI implementation process so that you can demonstrate AI's potential through pilot projects and success stories. And you want to maintain open, transparent communications about what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it, and who you're trying to serve with it within your organization. You need to have a clear implementation plan, develop a clear and detailed AI implementation plan that outlines objectives, timelines, and responsibilities. You want to ensure alignment with business goals. You don't want to play around with AI just to play around with it. Choose AI solutions that are compatible with your existing systems. Work closely with IT teams to ensure seamless integration. And you want to implement change management strategies to support the transition to AI. This can include training programs, communication plans, and support systems to help employees adapt to new tools and processes. Imagine a manufacturing company looking to adopt AI for predictive maintenance. They face challenges such as data quality issues, resistance from employees, and integration with existing systems. The company invests in sensors and devices to collect accurate data. The company conducts training sessions to educate the employees about the benefits of AI-driven predictive maintenance, and they involve the employees in the pilot projects so that they're involved and they can demonstrate the effectiveness of AI and build trust with the employees. And the company works with their IT teams and the AI vendors to ensure that the predictive maintenance solution integrates seamlessly with their current IT systems. By addressing these challenges and implementing effective solutions, the company successfully adopts AI for predictive maintenance, resulting in reduced downtime, increased efficiency, and cost savings. The future trends for AI include emerging AI technologies, and we want to be able to best deliver AI values across our businesses. And so it's important for us to think about these things and be ahead of the curve so that we're implementing AI as a successful tool. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I use AI at Inciting Incident, and I want to talk a little bit about the tools and why I specifically address the tools. And I might be a little interactive with this because I'm not really sure if people are using AI in their day-to-day, so I would love to get a sense if any of the tools that you see on the screen are tools that you use or have used. Okay. So Perplexity, I discovered Perplexity last year. When I first kind of started utilizing AI in my business, the first thing that I was using were the more common tools like ChatGPT. And I was going through the process of using it in the way that it was presented, creating prompts, utilizing a lot of complicated prompts in order to get more sophisticated answers. But when I found Perplexity, it changed the game for me because Perplexity allowed me to do two things. It allowed me to search, which was an important part of the tools that I was using. I was using Google and Bing search regularly on a daily basis, but Perplexity allowed me to utilize AI in my search and using the information that was retrieved in a way that allowed me to not only create folders and hold on to that information, it allowed me to analyze the information through threads and themes that allowed me to go outside of something that I was working on and then come back to my main trunk. A very, very effective tool for me. I like to look at Perplexity as my search threads and search themes, and I use it on a daily basis. And in fact, it's a vital component of my tool set. I still use ChatGPT, but for me, ChatGPT is a help me sort of tool. And this is when I'm looking at trying to do fast creation or first draft work. So I might say, ChatGPT, help me write a letter. Or ChatGPT, help me come up with 10 ideas that I want to turn into content for Instagram. And I find that it actually is one of the best tools for asking a question or creating a prompt and getting an answer that is consistent every single time based upon its rule set and its data set that it uses. I don't use it as much as I used to, but I still continue to use it as part of my tool set. Claude actually is a very interesting tool that I use, and it's kind of a funny one because I sometimes forget that I'm utilizing Claude, and it gives me information far more advanced than I'm ready for. I kind of type Claude as a more advanced creation tool. One day I thought I was in Perplexity, and I wanted to do a search, and I asked Claude to help me find a piece of software that I wanted it to do a specific thing. I think I wanted it to be a software that allowed me to collect notes and utilize those notes in order to be able to find themes within those notes. And I was hoping that Perplexity would go out on the web and give me a list of software tools that actually already did that. What Claude did was took my question and wrote code, and it effectively created a first draft version of the software product that it thought I was trying to create, which kind of blew my mind because I was starting to play with it, and it was actually pretty effective at its results. But it was not exactly what I was looking for. So Claude is an actually more advanced tool, and I kind of appreciate what it delivers for me. I still use Google, and Google is part of one of the things that I think is really interesting as a AI tool. And the aspect of it for me is Notebook LM, which allows me to take various pieces of data and bring it together into a centralized resource and use that in order to be able to ask questions, look at the data in multiple different viewpoints, and then begin to build upon it. One of the things that Notebook LM does that I think is really interesting, outside of all the other tools that I use, is I can cut and paste data into it. I can actually put in a website URL. I can put in a YouTube URL. And it could take all of that information, combine it, create a study guide, and it can even create an audio conversation between two AI hosts, which would sound very much like a video or audio podcast. And I find that that's actually kind of fascinating because one of the things that AI has done for me as a tool is it kind of locks me into my chair because I can spend hours upon hours working on a project, looking for information, trying to draw upon it. What Notebook LM has done for me is it gives me an opportunity to hit that button and sit back and listen, and I can actually step away from the desk and allow that information to work with my own creative process as well. So I find that that's kind of a fascinating tool for me. My favorite AI tool is actually one that I don't use a lot, but I find it absolutely mind-blowing, and it's called Pi. I have it on my phone and I have it on my iPad, and I can actually bring it up on my computer, but I never do. Pi is a very conversational tool, and the thing that I like about Pi is it has a more humanistic aspect to it than any other AI tool that I've ever used. I've asked Pi questions like, what is the meaning of life? And it provides a very thoughtful response. And I think that that's something that most people really don't expect from any sort of computer tool, whether it's AI or any other tool that they use. They don't expect it to sound or feel like a friend or a counselor or someone who actually has a very thoughtful approach to the answer. One of the things that I spend a lot of time on and I look at as a human is sort of the human experience. And so mindfulness, thoughtfulness as part of the process is something that I always look for. And I kind of feel that I'm the guy who always sort of inserts that into the work that I'm doing. But with Pi, it kind of feels like it's very close, and that the computer, the network, and all of these language models are really thinking about how to sound more human, how to feel more human, and how to break that sort of that gap between sounding like an analytical solution, a Wikipedia, a Google search response, and sounding like someone who actually knows the person that they're answering and providing a more thoughtful and human response in the way that they want to hear it. And so I love Pi, and I would encourage you, if you haven't used it, to play around with it. It might be something that you will find very fun to use and very comforting in some cases. And then the final tool that I'll share is Leonardo, which is my visual creation tool. I know a lot of people love to use visual tools. ChatGPT has actually gotten really good at being able to take a prompt and create an image. There are a lot of really great image models out there, but Leonardo is a favorite of mine because it's just one of those things where I don't feel like I'm creating art. I sort of am asking questions and it's giving me a visual answer. And it's just one of those things that I just kind of find is a tool for a more relaxing experience around this. And so I might create an idea and use Leonardo to give me some images that will help me solidify that idea. So I wanted to kind of share those tools with you, and that's kind of my toolkit if you're so interested. So I'm going to move on, and we'll talk a little bit about some case studies and what companies out there are using AI applications and how they're using it. I'm going to start with Spotify. Spotify uses artificial intelligence to personalize music recommendations for users. By leveraging machine learning algorithms and vast amounts of data, Spotify tailors its music suggestions to fit the unique preference of each listener. Spotify is actually really good at this. It does a lot of data collection, and one of the most fascinating aspects of it is those, based upon your listening, your both the time and when you listen, and the amount of music you listen, and the variety of the music you listen, it's able to make recommendations that are uncannily spot on. Spotify collects data on user interactions using songs played, skipped, liked, and added to playlists. This data also encompasses listening habits, such as the time of day, the type of device used, and the user's location. The data is processed using machine learning algorithms which analyze patterns, correlations, and listening behaviors. Spotify uses collaborative filtering, natural language processing, and deep learning models to create a comprehensive profile for each user. Based upon the analysis, Spotify generates personalized playlists like Discover Weekly and Daily Mix. These playlists use tracks that the user has never heard before, but are likely to enjoy based upon their history and preferences. By providing highly personalized music recommendations, Spotify enhances user engagement and satisfaction. Users are more likely to discover new music that resonates with their tastes, increasing their time spent on the platform. Personalization leads to higher user retention rates as listeners find value in tailored content. Happy users are more likely to stay subscribed and recommend Spotify to others. Increased user engagement and retention drive revenue through both subscriptions and advertisements. Personalized playlists keep users returning to the platform, generating more ad impressions and subscription renewals. Spotify is actually a really fantastic tool. I actually have been using it in my family. I've had a family plan for years, and I kind of canceled it for a short period of time a couple of years ago. And we ended up resubscribing because the value that it provided to us as a collective group has been very, very satisfying for us as a family. I recommend Spotify all the time. And I started using it far more than I have in the past because Spotify, in addition to music, also provides access to podcasts and audiobooks, and it's just a fantastic tool. So Spotify's personalized recommendations has significantly increased user engagement. The Discover Weekly playlist introduced in 2015 saw massive success with users streaming billions of tracks within a few months. By leveraging AI for personalization, Spotify has maintained its position as a leader in the music streaming industry. The innovative use of AI set a benchmark for other streaming services to follow. AI-powered recommendations also benefit artists as their music is suggested to users are likely to enjoy it, and this increases their exposure to both established and emerging artists. One of the things that I also want to say about Spotify is that it has kind of taken the center stage when it comes to music streaming, and people really have come to look to it as a determining factor for their music streaming source, and it's something that I think the use of AI is definitely a gold standard because it has improved the user's experience significantly. The second case study I would like to talk a little bit about that has improved their business significantly because of AI is Netflix. Netflix employs AI to drive its content recommendation system, which is one of the most critical aspects of their user experience. By analyzing vast amounts of data and viewing habits and preferences, Netflix can tailor its recommendations to fit individual user profiles, ensuring that users find content they are likely to enjoy. Netflix collects data on user behavior, such as what shows and movies they watch, when they watch them, devices they use, and their interactions with the content, pausing, rewinding, rating. They have an algorithm that is unbelievable. The data is fed into a complex machine learning algorithm that uses collaborative filtering, content-based filtering, and deep learning techniques. These models analyze patterns and user behavior to predict what content users will find appealing. Based on the analysis, Netflix recommendation engine suggests TV shows and movies. These recommendations appear in various forms, such as top picks for you because you watched X, and personalized roles based upon viewing history. And in fact, you may not realize this, but most of the time, a new suggestion that comes from Netflix is on the left side of the screen. And if you ever find yourself looking at something new, it feels like you don't even have to search for it. It's handed to you right at the point of where you need it to be. The personal recommendations help users discover new content. By consistently providing content that users love, Netflix keeps its viewers coming back, reducing churn rate. AI recommendations help users explore content they may not have found otherwise. And Netflix recommendation system has significantly increased user engagement. Personalized suggestions lead to more hours viewed and continually present with content they are likely to enjoy. Imagine a user who enjoys crime dramas and sci-fi series. Netflix AI notices this pattern and starts recommending content like Stranger Things and Mindhunter, both fitting the user's taste profile. By providing these tailored suggestions, Netflix ensures the user always has something interesting to watch, enhancing their overall experience and platform. And in fact, Netflix uses a little bit of AI in order to determine what original content they're going to create. They'll look at two groups and say, a group that likes a particular type of genre may also like a particular type of director, and then create a content or original series in order to deliver a new type of programming to that user base. They're very good at it. Netflix also, just before I move on, Netflix also is very good at their technology. They were one of the first streaming companies to move technology closer to the end user. They put streaming machines at Comcast, at AT&T, at your cable provider in order to be able to find the content that you're looking for delivered to you faster. And they create an AI algorithm that looks at the actual performance of your network in order to be able to provide the programming quality of the video and audio to adjust it in order to be able to provide you with the most satisfying experience. I'll move on to benevolent AI, which is my last case study that I'll talk about today. It uses artificial intelligence in the drug discovery and development process. By leveraging AI, machine learning, and scientific expertise, benevolent AI aims to reduce time and costs involved in bringing new drugs to market. Data collection and analysis, benevolent AI uses a biomedical knowledge graph to collect and analyze vast amounts of scientific data from research, clinical trials, and other sources to uncover hidden relationships and infer previously unknown scientific information. AI-driven insights are a big piece of how Benevolent is able to develop new drugs and drug compounds. When potential drug candidates are identified, Benevolent AI collaborates with pharmaceutical companies to further develop and test these drugs. This partnership helps streamline the drug development process, making it faster and more efficient. So they use AI to accelerate the drug discovery process by quickly analyzing vast amounts of data and identifying potential drug candidates, and this reduces the time required to bring new drugs to market. By automating data analysis and reducing the need for extensive physical testing, it helps lower the costs associated with drug development. One of the things that we think about when it comes to drug development is the high cost of approval. And by utilizing AI, you can kind of figure out ways to create novel drug for populations that may not necessarily be large enough in order to be able to support. And there are very few of these, but one of the things that we think about are neurodegenerative diseases and rare cancers that just simply have small populations because they're rare. It's very hard for drugs to be developed for it. But because of the because of the large data models that AI is able to use, they're able to create a pathway for these diseases to be treated and for them to look for a cure. So imagine a research team at Benevolent AI working on a new treatment for Alzheimer's disease. Using their AI tools, they analyze thousands of research papers and clinical trial data to identify potential drug candidates. The AI identifies a compound that shows promise in early stage studies. Benevolent AI partners with a pharmaceutical company to further develop to test these compounds, ultimately bringing a new effective treatment to market faster than traditional methods. I'm going to talk a little bit about 3 projects that we worked on at Inciting Incident over the last year that I used AI to kind of build rapid prototypes for, so we can kind of chat a little bit about this. I worked on a software application. I was trying to create a mobile application that would be a productivity tool. I was calling it time blindness because sometimes I find myself losing track of time or not really assigning enough time to do the work that I needed to do. And I found that I struggled with that. And a lot of productivity tools kind of create models that are good for people who are good at that. And for me, a lot of that really, it doesn't work and it's not as effective as it should be. And so I wanted to create a tool that took the clock out of it and really kind of figured out roughly, based upon the work that I needed to do, how much time I needed, and just simply placed it on a calendar for me to get the work done as a task. So instead of me looking at a calendar and looking at a time clock, I would be looking at a task list. And it would basically set it up so that based upon my work time windows, I would be able to be more productive utilizing that. And I used AI to kind of create the parameters for it and begin working on the code. It's still a work in progress because I think I'm missing some pieces there, but I definitely wanted to share this with you because it's something that I'm going to continue to work on, hopefully be able to publish it at some point in time. The second project that I think is really kind of interesting, and this is something that I rapidly put together over a weekend, is a newsletter that I'm working on. I'm calling it Inquisitive AF, and this newsletter is designed to curate content in the areas that I'm very interested in: strategy, business strategy, game theory, the things that I find fascinating. And I wanted to be able to create a model that allows me to deliver a newsletter twice a month that would provide actionable content that would be interesting to the audience. And so I used AI tools to put together the plan, to help me figure out where to create the content, to even identify whether the market that might be interested in this newsletter was large enough to serve, and who in that market might be interested to share the initial newsletters with in order to be able to grow my newsletter base. And so this is something that I thought was really interesting. I used AI to help put together and to develop it, and it's still a work in progress, but it's definitely something that I feel very strongly about. And I'm glad that the tools that I had available to me helped me kind of get around a lot of the questions I had and begin to put together the project and get it into from prototype stage into implementation. And then game intelligence is the last component that I want to talk about as a project, because it's a term that I've used several times, and it's not a made-up term. It's something that is used as a way to describe the way an athlete understands the way they play the game. So they may say that a component of a professional football game, like you might describe the number one skill of a Tom Brady is his game intelligence, his ability to analyze what is going to be happening on the field and being able to respond to it in a time that's superhuman. And so I wanted to think about it as a way of describing that area between the science of game theory and the tactical aspects of game mechanics. And I felt that that's kind of an interesting area to share. And so I built a business that utilizes it as a sort of anchor point, and I'm kind of redefining the term for business the same way you would utilize it on a playing field. So this is my last slide. I wanted to kind of share some AI news that I heard over the last week with the people who have come to hear me talk, because I think it's kind of an important. One of the people that I follow, and this is kind of interesting because YouTube actually uses a great algorithm in order to put the content that is interesting for you at the time you need to see it. So I came across a YouTuber. He has only 1,000 plus followers, called Nate Jones, and he shares YouTube. On his YouTube channel, he shares AI news on a daily basis, and he shared these 3 pieces of information that I thought were really kind of interesting. He actually shared 4 pieces of information yesterday, but I thought these 3 pieces were very interesting, so I decided to add it to my talk today. And the first is Perplexity, which was actually launched in 2022. Earlier this year had raised some money, and it had a valuation of like $1 billion. They just raised another $500 million and announced it yesterday or earlier this week. And they've done it with themselves as a $9 billion valuation. They're going to own search. They believe that there will be a better search than Google because of the way they have more detailed modeling. Like a Google search is usually 3 to 5 words at the most, but a Perplexity search might have 11 words on average, and as a result, they're able to have a much more detailed response. And so Perplexity believes that in a very short period of time, they'll be able to own and dominate the search space, and will be able to eat Google's lunch. And it'll be kind of interesting if they're able to do that. The second frame on this is a story about McKinsey and Company, and I thought it was kind of fascinating because McKinsey is they're a management consulting firm, and they've helped all these different large Fortune 500 companies. They've helped the federal government. Whenever you have a big project that you want to undertake, you bring in McKinsey in order to be able to have those consultants tell you how to spend more of your money. And one of the things that was the news that Nate was sharing was that Microsoft's AI team is developing agents for McKinsey, which I think is really fascinating. And we've all used agents. Those are the AI tools that are very sort of one job specific. But the agents that Microsoft is developing for McKinsey or creating will be able to scan a partner's email and know exactly who to forward that message to. And they believe that the claim is that it will save a partner 30% of their time. And I don't know about any of you sitting in the room or anybody who is listening to me at home remotely, but I don't believe that I spend 30% of my time on email, maybe 10%. So if this is a problem at McKinsey that they brought in Microsoft to solve, then maybe AI is going to replace McKinsey relatively soon as a company as well. And then the last good news is just really fantastic. It's about how AI is reducing or sort of helping us battle the war on cancers, around cancer research. There's a new cancer detection tool. It's an AI-driven cancer detection tool. It's called Chief. It is able to have a 96% accuracy rate across 19 cancer types. It also detects novel survivability characteristics, and it uses transformer-based architecture and pattern recognition and large training data in order to be able to detect and help us with our battle against cancer. And I just think that, when we talk about AI, we think about how it impacts our life. Like, is it going to make it easier for us to write a term paper, or is it going to help us get through a project a little bit faster? We don't necessarily think about how it can have a greater impact on the world. And all of these things kind of happen because we have the computing power to be able to deliver that processing like magnitude. We also have the large data sets that processing power can look at in order to be able to do the pattern matching. And the end result is being able to use these in such an incredibly and impactful way that it will help save lives. And I think that, those of us who think of AI as, oh, our computer robotic overlords are going to come to kill us, I think in a lot of ways, AI might be the thing that is able to save us. So thank you very much for listening. If you have any comments or questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
Earlier you had talked about there's a little bit of resistance to AI, and just with how fast it's coming on. What do you think the best way to kind of bridge that gap is between the people who are taking it and running with it, perhaps a little too fast, and then the people who are completely resisting it and trying to not integrate it whatsoever? How do you see that gap getting filled?
I think there's always going to be sort of a market sort of differentiating effect. Like the innovators are the ones that are deeply looking at AI today. They're the ones that, adopt the technology early, and they're willing to deal with the mistakes. I actually use a AI tool that I didn't talk about. It's called Napkin, and it is so painful to use, but when it works, it's a beautiful piece of art. But I'm an early adopter. I'm in the beta. I'm able to accept its flaws and recognize how painful it can be to be that. When the early adopters kind of pull into it, they kind of help bring the early majority, and then the majority of the marketplace starts to adopt these tools. I think even people who are resistant to AI have had AI impact their lives in some way. And I think that when we start recognizing that it's going to provide a value and benefit, that's when we can accept it. The fear of AI, I think, is not unfounded. I believe that there are concerns, whether it comes to data privacy, because I've had so many data breaches in my life, and we're talking about technology that's 20, 25 years old. The internet hasn't been around that long, and yet, the people who are responsible for holding on to our data, whether it's our address or our names or any of those things, even our email addresses, have let us down time and time again. And, governments don't really react in the way that they should. When someone steals your car, they're punished, they're put in jail. But if someone steals your data, it's like, oh, here's 16 months of data monitoring. I don't think it's enough. And so I don't necessarily feel that there is enough that's being done, but I think all of these things will kind of come together in the wash. I believe that mainstream large language models and data sets are going to provide some really important benefits to the entire human global population. The things that I talked about in terms of medicine and cancer research and those types of things are going to have a net benefit. I really don't think that is, I think that is enough to sort of weather the storm of evil AI being a search engine that wants to capture your eyes and keep you like scrolling on Facebook and doing all the things that you probably shouldn't be doing. I think all of these things will kind of balance out at the end.
Any other questions in
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming to hear me speak. And if you have any questions, you can always send me an email. Thank you.
No questions online. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm
Great.
gonna give that back to you because I don't know how to turn it off.
There we go. Got it.
Do you know if they'll be uploading the slide deck to? Will that be something that
To the app?
Yeah.